Okay, so we have seen if statement with one condition, with two conditions. We have seen a nested if as well. So now we'll talk about something called switch. And switch allow you to switch between different options. Like electricity switch, you go to line 1, line 2, line 3 based on the selection or the case you select. So if you have case 1, you selected first case, you go do process 1 and then you break, and then if it's case 2, you do process 2 and break, and if it is nothing similar to 1 or 2 different thing, then you can do process 3 and break. Let's look at an example here, which we have, let's say option equal 1. So the switch here is using a variable called option, and the value of that option is 1. So in this case, you go to case 1, you do process and break. And that's what you do in case option 1 has been selected. But in case option equal 2, then you go into the second process or case, you do process 2 and then you break. And we will see why that break is required, because it will allow you to exit the switch. Now in case the user enter value that is not 1, is not 2, something different. So the user enter 3, for example, it's not case 1 or case 2, 5, 7, anything. In this case, it will go to the default and do process 3 and then it's break. So the default is used for anything that does not have case matching its value. So anything different from 1 to 3 and the cases we have there. Let's look at this example here. We have this line of code. We ain't asking the user to enter a number. We're storing it in something called option, and then we're doing a switch based on that option. So it depends on the value of option. If option is 1, then do something. In this case, do case 1 if it's 1. And then that just display a message on the screen, say you have entered 1, and then break. This break is important, otherwise the code will continue moving to the next line. In case the user entered 2 for option, then do this and then break. And if the user enters something completely different from 1 and 2, then you do this and then you break. Let's look at the example here. So assume the user entered number 1 for option. So now the value of option is 1. It will go to the switch, and the switch will select case 1 because the value is 1. And then perform this line. You have entered 1, so display it on the screen. And then do break. Break will allow it to jump to the end of the switch and then continue the code. But if the user enters assume 2, then it will go to the switch. The value of option is 2 now. It will jump to case 2 and do this line here. And then display the value and go to the break and continue the code. And now the third situation, which the user enters assume 5. So it go to the option and then jump to the default because 5 is none of the above selections. Then it will break and then go to the end of the code. And that's how switch really work. It's like a switch of electricity that take you to, you switch this light or that light or TV, or it's a switch.